So Jaguar released their new and bold, exuberant advert just a few days ago, and the backlash from the internet was swift and decisive. People do not actually want to live vivid or delete ordinary, break molds. In fact, people looked at this and said, maybe the mold was there for a reason. What is going on with these weird alien people on this weird alien planet, totally out of time, place, context, and honestly, people who just don't look very happy with being in a Jaguar video, an advert. And what is the guy's haircut from the IT crowd? What's going on there? But anyway, people weren't impressed with this, and they didn't like it. And so people started digging in to where this had come from. And internet sleuths discovered, I think this is Jaguar's creative director or director of marketing or something like that, at some kind of award ceremony explaining the philosophy that Jaguar is taking into the future from 2024 and onwards. And man, did this seem archaic.
And at Jaguar, we're passionate about our people, and we're committed to fostering a diverse, inclusive, and unified culture that is representative not only of the people who use our products, but in a society in which we all live. A culture where our employees can bring their authentic selves to work. And we're on a transformative journey of our own, driven by a belief in diversity, inclusion, creativity, policy, and most importantly, action. We've established over 15 DEI groups, such as Pride, who are here tonight in the back. Thank you guys for coming. Women in Engineering, and Neurodiversity Matters. We've launched major policy revisions, such as transitioning at work, to drive equity and support for our communities, embracing individuality as our superpower.
Right. I'm not even going to characterize them. But yes, that is exactly the kind of group of people that I would expect to produce this kind of advert. What I think is interesting, he says, well, we want it to be representative of our country and the consumers who buy our products. Like, really, I don't know if this is representative of the wider society at large. But anyway, so after this all came out and after this all went down, Jaguar's boss, I assume is the director, Rawdon Glover, which I'm reliably assured is his real name, decided that this was actually just intolerance. The people who didn't like this were just bigots. Because, I mean, lots of people were pointing out that the 90-year-old brand was going awoke and throwing away its heritage, which seems to be a salient critique of what's happened here. But Rawdon Glover said in an interview with the Financial Times the intended message had been lost in a blaze of intolerance. You're not tolerant of these weird, freaky alien people who look really miserable and have no connection to your real life. I guess I'm not tolerant of whatever this is meant to be. That's true, I suppose. I don't like it. But anyway, the video, he says, is not a woke statement. If we play in the same way everyone else does, we'll just get drowned out. So we shouldn't turn up like an auto brand. Well, that's mission accomplished, because nobody knew that this was an advert for cars. Everyone assumed that this was an advert for cultural subversion, because it seems that it was. But he says, we need to re-establish our brand and at a completely different price point, so we need to act differently. We wanted to move away from traditional automotive stereotypes, and that incurred moving away from traditional gender stereotypes at the same time, I assume. He said that while the overall buzz of the new campaign had been very positive, where have you seen positivity about this campaign? Is it in your board meeting with the weird people, the San Franciscans, who have decided that that's representative of the entire world, and they all agree that this is a good thing to do? Because I've seen nothing but people mocking this. In fact, we'll get some of the mockery in a minute. But and he said he was disappointed by the level of vile hatred and intolerance in the comments regarding individuals who appeared in the video. That's right. It's just vile hatred and intolerance. It's not, why are you using these people to try and stimulate me to buy your car? Like, what are you doing? Like, what kind of message are you sending to me? That I'm wearing suit and tie. Am I some sort of weird, archaic throwback? And in fact, this is the future, and I don't represent what Jaguar wants to see the world become. because that is a weird way to approach people who you, I would assume, would view as prospective customers. But anyway, this is all a part of a broader rebranding, as Financial Times tells us, and we can all see. But a bunch of advertising executives spoke to the Financial Times, and they're like, I'm not sure that's wise. As they say, you can destroy a brand in 30 seconds that took a lifetime to build. Well, in Jaguar's case, 90 years. And another one said, strong brands reinvent themselves, but always remain true to the core of their DNA. For luxury brands in particular, authenticity is key and fails this test. What are you saying? Are you saying this isn't authentic? Oh, this is very much authentic Californian culture right here. This is an authentic product of a very small number of people in a very remote place in the world that has nothing to do with the rest of us. FYI. But anyway, going down to the end of this, they tell us what this is all about. They say executives say the company wants to target a younger and wealthier customers and recreate its image as a pure luxury brand, rather than a legacy automotive brand. And I tell you what, they've really got something going there, don't they? These are certainly luxury beliefs, and they don't feature a single car. I mean, if I didn't already know what Jaguar was, I wouldn't know what they were trying to sell me. I would assume this was some sort of fashion brand or something like that. They were trying to sell me the clothes, maybe. Who knows? But the point is, yeah, I feel that you've successfully moved away from being a car manufacturer. But they say, and Glover says, this is not a depiction of how we think our future customers are. We don't necessarily want to leave all of our customers behind, but we do need to attract a new customer base. So, okay, so what was the point of this? If these aren't meant to be your new customers in the future, and they're not representative of the people who buy your car, what are they here for? What are you trying to sell them? What is the dream that is being sold in Jaguar's advert? You might one day arrive on a weird alien planet looking like a total fool, a clown, and you'll be very unhappy about it, but you will have deleted ordinary and broken molds and various other things that don't really sound very good, very appealing. And so anyway, that was the Jaguar's response to all of this. You're a bigot. We didn't really mean it. We're probably going to do a U-turn when it turns out our stocks and our sales completely tank. Because people were just making fun of this. And the general response of the internet was to just make fun of this. Because what Jaguar had pulled out of their hat was something that would have been creative and interesting in about 2010 and would have really hit the mainstream in about 2014. And by about 2020, was very old hat. And by 2024, with the victory of Trump, for example, was something that people thought we'd all step past. They seemed out of time, basically. And all it was just people just mocking this. Like, what? You look like clowns. You look like children's productions. You, in fact, need to bring back the Jaguars and have a bit of a clear out of your marketing department. I mean, AI really is coming a long way, isn't it? This does look really good, actually. Considering none of this was in the video. This is genuinely amazing. But anyway, the point being, this was not well received and people just started mocking it. And concurrent to this, Volvo put out this advert. Now, this advert's a very different advert. This advert is about a young man and his girlfriend or wife, a young wife, who are starting a family. She comes to him and says, look, I'm pregnant. And he's like, okay, that's brilliant. And he gets on the phone to his mum. And he's like, Mum, my wife's pregnant. You know, we need a bit of help. And she's like, no problem, I'll help you. And so as you go through this advert, like shots of him doing things that he needs to do, raising his daughter, having a great life with his wife, and the car is there to be the functional tool. It looks stylish, it looks effective, it looks utilitarian, it gets the job done, and it's a good core part of his life when he needs to get from place to place. This is a really aspirational advert. Like, if there's one thing you could say to young men these days, that look, you know, one day you could be this guy who has a job, a house, a car, a wife, and kids. And Volvo is a great brand for that. That's actually something to aspire to. Again, would you rather be that guy or one of these people who look just, again, totally out of place, totally unhappy, totally miserable? I mean, look at what you're selling. Or the dude with his wife and his family. Like, I'm just amazing. And then to come out and be like, yeah, well, you know what? You're just bigoted and intolerant. It's like, okay, like, tell me something I didn't know. That was the first thing that I was told back in like 2013 when I was like, hey guys, maybe this woke stuff isn't so great. And, oh, you're big and intolerant. Okay. You know, more than a decade later, that really doesn't wash. And actually, I'm starting to think that everyone on the internet's right and Jaguar is in fact wrong and probably needs to fire their marketing department.